DLB.
Oh boy. What up, world? It's your boy Chuck Wick Ill, aka Charles Brown, back again with another review. But first I want to ask, are you good, man? Be safe out there. It's crazy. It's a lot of hype, but some of this is real. Just be safe, man. Don't go too crazy thinking that is whatever. But understand that it is whatever. Alright? And with that being said, I'm gonna go into this review. Your boy Electronica, a written testimony. I may look kind of somber, but it ain't about coronavirus. It's about this album that I wanted so desperately to like. So this is what it is. Electronica. He first came in our psyche back when rap was different. I mean, by the count, according to the internet, right? It's been 10 years in the making for this album. Before Jay signed him, before we was saying this album is never coming out as a ghost, it's like Detox, we never get it. Electronica shocked the world with Exhibit C, Exhibit A? Or... End of the day, right? I heard more about Electronica than I heard Electronica. I heard more about the myth of Electronica than I actually heard tracks of Electronica. Now, somebody just put me on, they said a mixtape he had came out way back then. I never heard that mixtape. Let me just say that. I've only heard a couple songs and a couple verses by Electronica. And I heard when Kendrick dropped Control, I heard Electronica throw a jab at Kendrick. I have a lot to talk about. Let me just say that. I have a lot to talk about. This is for the fans of Electronica and the non-fans of everything in between. There are going to be some people who like Trump supporters. They fiercely are going to defend this album. Like my man Wiz. My man is like, yo, I like this album. You know what I'm saying? My man Wiz loved this album. He's texting me saying that he loved it. On the flip side, I got people on Facebook saying that is garbage. Now, I try not to use the word garbage. Garbage is a harsh word. And I'm only going to say something's garbage when it is unredeemable. Where it doesn't make any sense that this was put together. So I'm going to refrain. I'm not going to use that word too often when I say garbage. Right? And I'm not, this album is not garbage. But I do want to say, Electronica, the promise of Electronica. Do you remember when you first saw Star Wars? And Electronica does do a lot of, well, some Star Wars references like Tatooine and stuff like that. What you thought? So I saw Star Wars when it first came out. I'm showing my age. I saw Luke Skywalker when he was an anxious teen on Tatooine, trying to look up into the stars and figure out what his purpose was in life and what he was going to do with his life and why he was even, it was something bigger for him out there. And we watched Luke grow from this angsty teen, acne-faced kid to arguably one of the greatest, I want to say, protagonists, one of the greatest heroes, for lack of a better word, Jedis we have ever seen. Now, I say all that to say, this is what Electronica was supposed to be. He was Luke Skywalker who was discovered, and his father was someone bigger than life, and he was sent to destroy or change the entire galaxy. Right? Electronica was placed on mythical status by the time he was even a year into his career. It's like when cannabis first came out. They were crowning cannabis the king within the first year, 2 years of him rapping, of us hearing of him rapping. When he was with Clue and all them, like, cannabis was the king of rap, and that quickly dismantled after he dropped that album produced by Wyclef, which was a disaster. It's something like what I'm going through right now. I had the highest of expectations, and for whatever reason, the Cannabis album fell short on several levels. There were some redeeming qualities on it, but overall, it fell short. Now, one could say it's Cannabis' own fault, because Nas didn't let nobody pick what he was going to rap about or none of his music. They said Nas would go through 1,000 beats before he let you tell him what to rap to. Nas was one of the hardest people to get a beat to, because he was very particular. And then he made Illmatic, which to this day is considered a classic. It wasn't no, oh, he got with this such and such and fumbled, because they can't blame nobody for Nas, because Nas didn't let it happen. So this is what I want to say. Jay Electronica, the promise, the hope of Jay Electronica was way more astronomical than I think this man could ever have lived up to. And he killed himself by not even trying to, by going a year without even so much as a song. It built the myth up even more. 5 years in, it was to the point he would never be able to live up to the enigma that was his name. Just his name in and of itself was like, oh, Jay Electronica. You know what I'm saying? I told you I heard more about this dude name in comment sections than I actually heard music. About how if he ever dropped this masterpiece, it would be life-changing, game-changing. You didn't want it to happen because the game would be so destroyed. He would shut down and swing the sword and chop the heads off of everyone, and we would have a spiritual awakening in the hip-hop game. Facts. That is what it seemed like was going to happen with Jay Electronica. So his core fans waited and waited and waited. I'm not a core fan, but I waited because I love good music. I love good rap. I love good lyrics, and I love the Allah. I love the Israel, all of that stuff. I love I can listen to that stuff for days with the spiritual undertones and the higher purpose and the higher meaning and the worship. I can listen to that type of rap all day, done right. You know what I'm saying? Done right. You can bore me to death with it, but if it's done right, like this guy does it, I can listen to it all day. So at some point, Jay-Z got involved, which it makes sense to me. If you truly understand what Jay-Z's, in my opinion, about, it's only right that he would take a Jay Electronica. He took the Roots and gave them carte blanche in freaking Def Jam, when if it wasn't for him, they would have been dropped years ago. He took Ghostface and gave him unlimited amount of albums to do. A lot of people don't talk about that. They talk about how DMX was mad at Jay, how LL Cool J was mad at Jay, and other artists left Def Jam because of Jay. The problem with that, right? Let me throw this window up. The problem with that is a lot of the guys we're talking about that Jay on Def Jam didn't like him before he was the president. He had a beef with LL before he was even an executive. Him and LL never liked each other. LL was jealous of Jay. It's a fact. It is a fact. It was a young dude coming up. Everybody was talking about him. LL's competitive. So they never clicked. So of course LL gonna get mad when he become the president. That's his boss. DMX the same way. I don't know what Redman, but Redman, I don't think Redman had a problem with him. I say all that to say this. Jay-Z signed Jay Electronica to whatever kind of deal, for whatever reason, to his label, right? And Everyone screamed bloody murder that now this album was going to get ruined. Jay was going to ruin him. Jay was going to hold him back. It was crazy. It was to the point that people were saying Jay only signed him just to silence him. Which makes no sense. Like, I don't understand some of the conspiracy theories. Because the dude wasn't doing anything. Why would he sign on to silence him when he ain't even doing nothing? You understand? He signed him to push him. He signed him to push him because he knew the world needed to hear that. And he physically and mentally changed Jay. What Jay raps about. He has touched Jay. I think at the end of the day, he's Jay's spiritual advisor in real time. If you're paying attention to how Jay talks now as opposed to Jay 10 years ago, this is Jay-Z's spiritual advisor right now. Now, with all that being said, I think Jay loves this man like, I don't know, I'm not going to say like Malcolm and Elijah Muhammad. I'm not going to say that. But these two dudes have a certain affinity for each other that you can clearly see. They like each other. Dare I say they love each other. They like each other. They roll with each other. Y'all see all that to say this. You see, Jay-Z's a workaholic. And end of the day, Jay-Z may be insecure, but he don't perpetuate that out into the universe. He does not tell you over and over how insecure he is. And he's not going to damn sure tell you over and over that you the reason that he didn't make an album, or you the reason that he's staying up late nights because he can't get the words together to impress you with. It's a fact. So we're looking at two different personalities right now. We're looking at one guy who clearly has some type of, I don't know what the word is. He clearly has some type of, it's not phobia or some type of mental, it's some type of social anxiety or something. I don't know what it is. Now, the guy's a strong individual, big, 6 feet tall. Like, this dude's black man, strong, heavy set, probably knock you out. But it's about your mental right now. You understand? It's not about your physical appearance. It's about your mental. And I used to wonder, right? What's up with this dude? Just make a record, dog. Throw it out. Just throw the record out. Let it eat, let it marinate. Let the people decide. And year after year, it would never come out. Then you get a RANT. 2 years ago, he got the Shiny Suit single on Tidal. All right? And then I think a year later, he dropped another song. About a year ago or more, he dropped a random single. He drops these songs out of nowhere. And after this album dropped, I already suspected this stuff, but I didn't want to believe that this dude was physically afraid to put this music out. Physically, mentally afraid to drop this music. I didn't want to believe. I'm like, this dude is too strong with his teachings. His words are way too intelligent for this guy to be afraid. Right? I'm like, it feels like, I don't know this dude that well, and I watched his video on Tidal maybe 3 years ago about catching up with Jay Electronica, and he was in New Orleans and he did a little intimate show. You know what I'm saying? I think Jay-Z was there. Like, Jay-Z's his man right now. These dudes like Ray and Ghost. So he did a little show, it's a little video on Tidal, and he was just talking and just seeing, and I'm listening and I'm watching it, and I'm like, this dude not really into it. He's not really into this. Like, something's missing. Like, he's not into this. He's not into this. Something is missing. I don't see the spark in this guy. It's like this show is a chore to him. This rapping is a chore. This music is a chore. There's something wrong here. This is one of the most revered rap artists in like years. And it feels like he don't want to do it. And I get it. Like, you get older and you get more, you got other stuff going on. You're doing other things, right? I get it. But it didn't feel like he was doing other things. It felt like this dude was just chilling for whatever reason. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to read too much into that. This dude probably got, it's like the dude that wrote Game of Thrones, and he ain't finished the 8th book, right? I know he finished the book. George R.R. Martin been finished that book. He didn't put it out because he didn't want to jeopardize Game of Thrones TV show. And then he messed around and told them the ending, and they screwed it up. So now he got to change the ending. But he been wrote that book. He wrote that book years ago. You know how I know? Because every time I turn around on Twitter, he's talking about the Jets. He's talking about all this random other stuff. He ain't thinking about that book. The book's sitting on the shelf. He been finished it. But dumb people think, oh, you need to finish that Game of Thrones. Why are you on Twitter? Finish the Game of Thrones already. Right? This dude already finished that book. So I thought Jay Electronica already finished the music and he was just sitting on it. Right? That's what I thought. And for all intents and purposes, it looked like that may have been what it was. But it's deeper than that. I have so much to say about this. So this is the first thing. When I hear this album, it's 10 songs. And Jay-Z's all over it. And this is the first thing you're going to think, why Jay-Z all over the album? Jay-Z sticking his nose in. No, bro. Once you take everything that I said, he's not into this music. He's insecure. And he's not in a space where this is his first love. So, if you pay attention to the album, I don't think the dude has 2 verses on here in any song. So let's do the math. If it's 10 songs, right? It's 10 songs. 1 is an intro. So then you got 9 songs. Jay-Z on almost all the songs. Right? So therefore, this dude doesn't have to spit a second verse. So that's 9 verses. Shiny Suit came out 2 years ago. So that's 8 new verses you haven't heard. So think about it. You just got an album with 8 verses from this guy. I could be wrong. Count it for me. I don't know. And he has Jay on every other song. So that leads me to think, me being a grown man, a professional, that means he didn't really do much in the last couple years. And that means Jay went in the studio, was like, I got to get this rolling, because they blaming me at this point. So Jay went in the studio, let me get on that. Jumped on that. And by the time you looked up, because they so cool, Jay done ended up on like 6 joints. 5, 6 joints. I didn't count, but I'm sure he's on 5 joints. I'm almost 100%. So you got to think what you got. You got an intro with Farrakhan. Dope is, I love the intro. The intro made me like the entire, if it was just about the intro, it's A+. I love the intro. I love the second track. And I'm going to go song for song in a minute. But you got the intro. There's no rapping. Then you got the first song. Jay-Z starts that song. Process that. Jay-Z starts that song. It's a dope song. Now, I'm going to get into my issues with this album in a minute. And one of them is being mixed down. And second of it is lack of beats under these dope samples. But I'm going to get to that in a minute. So you got these 10 tracks. One is an intro. This dude has literally 9 verses, and one of the songs is 2 years old. I think that one he has two or three verses on. Shiny Suit. I'll give you that. I think he has more than 1 verse on that. So let's say at best it's 10 verses. Was that a verse a year? If we're going to count? If it's a 10-year wait for this? Now, I told you, he dropped little songs here and there. Here and there. Then he dropped, when he came at Kendrick, I did not understand that. I get it, everybody was coming at Kendrick, right? When he did the Control verse, as it should. Some people was doing it for the look. I didn't understand Jay Electronica's beef with this guy. Because what rapper don't say he the best rapper? I didn't get that. And he didn't have enough strong body of work. All he had was the legacy of what he did 7 years before that. So he came at Kendrick randomly because Kendrick didn't say nothing about it. I think, oh no, he misinterpreted something Kendrick said and whatever it was. He thought it was at him, whatever it was. End of the day, man, this dude Kendrick is doing what's supposed to be done. He's doing creative work and he's doing it 100% under the black flag. It's black music he's making, bro. There's no reason for you to come at this kid whatsoever. Even if you thought he said something, you the OG. That could have been handled with a phone call, right? But he came at Kendrick, which kind of put me at, I was confused. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of like thrown off. I'm like, what? Why? What? Whatever. He disappears. And I want to like this guy. I really, truly, I want to like this guy. Every time he drops, I follow him on Twitter. I be shocked. When he dropped the last song, I added him, tweeted it. When he dropped this, Sight Unseen, I hadn't even, they put the live listening party on YouTube. I wanted to like it. I didn't even hear it. I retweeted it, put it on Facebook, I promoted it. I tell everybody, go share this, da-da-da. I see Big Sean is in the listening party, and whoever else is in there. Erykah Badu, whoever's in there. And they kept bringing the songs back. It was I only heard about 2-3 songs that on the listening party. And then they cut it off. And that was that. I liked what I heard. But it's not about 2 or 3 songs, including the intro. It's about the whole body of work. So I think I've discussed everything that I can think of that I need to discuss about Jay Electronica. I think with this album, he has told you literally everything you're ever going to know about Jay Electronica. As far as he's explained why he didn't put nothing out. And I believe him. He explained what he's feeling about in general with this music, where it's not something that's moving him. And even on here, some of these verses, some of this, like most of it's stellar, but sometimes on this album, he gets lazy. Sometimes it's like a master class of MCing, where it's freaking like you can't even believe that he's saying these things. Usually when he's doing the God body talk, but then sometimes it's like he's talking like a dude out the South that's just trying to be a hot boy. And that's not what we looking for. And you could have never told me Jay would go toe to toe on his album with him. And Jay and sometimes makes the record, makes the song doper. I mean, he don't outshine him, no, but he goes line for line. It's like Ray and Ghost. He goes line for line with him. He does not get washed on here by any stretch. And he's way more relevant with what he addressed the NFL. He addressed his kids. Like, he addressed everything. Way more relevant. We don't know nothing about Jay Electronica for him to address anything. What do we even know? I mean, I don't know. Maybe y'all know more about him than I do. But what's the big news story about Jay Electronica that we needed addressed? I can't think of anything. You tell me. This dude's like an enigma, wrapped in a mystery, which is how he likes it. But I expected, and don't get me wrong, this thing has moments of greatness. There's nothing whack on here if you get past the mixdown, and that's my problem. A lot of people were saying 10 songs after 10 years. A lot of people were saying that, and I didn't understand. I was like, man, you just being lame. Until I went and listened to it, then I'm like, this is supposed to represent 10 years. No matter how you slice it. I know that's a lot of pressure to put on a person. Like, oh, this is 10 years. Like, that's a lot of pressure. But that's exactly what it is. It took 10 years to put this out. Bro, this album should have been 22 tracks for the amount of time people waited for this guy. In my opinion, ain't no way in the world this should have been 10 songs. This is a glorified EP. Ain't no way in the world. And some of this stuff is genius. It's magic. But I think there's no Just Blaze track unless I'm tripping. Or maybe I missed it. I don't know. Maybe I think he produced too much of himself, which is what it is. That's what he wanted to do. But as a producer, rapper, your ear gotta be, if you're gonna enter both bubbles, it's very hard. And your ear gotta be magnificent because you're gonna hear the beats how you portray your own voice. So the beats you're gonna connect with stuff that you think that sounds good to you. But it ain't always necessarily what it should be. for instance, in my opinion, my main critique of this album, a lot of the times he goes beatless under the samples. Because I know what he's gonna say. He's gonna say, I want you to hear the lyrics. I want the lyrics to be the crest of the music. I know he's gonna say that. I get that, but we don't. We need both. And I'm gonna be honest with you. You used to get frustrated with a person. The first thing you talk about is the beat. The beat. I don't like the beat, man. The beat, man. If I would like it, it wasn't for the beat. I hate this sucker stuff to be saying all you wanted was the beat to be harder or whatever. It's sucker stuff. But at some point, the beat does matter, especially when you ain't give us music in years. The beat matters. Now, do we want to come up with all these shiny beats? No, that's not what we're talking about. But I'm talking about the mix down where one song is low and the other one comes on hot and blazing and loud. I had to turn up my music. I had to turn it up all the way up on my radio because I could not hear this stuff clearly. I had to go and put another song on to hear if it was my stuff that was low. And it wasn't. It's his stuff. Some of his songs are low. And Young Guru is the engineer. I'm not going to blame Young Guru because Young Guru work speaks for itself. But I think that he gave Young Guru some tough stuff. I think a lot of this stuff is old. I think a lot of this stuff he had years ago. And he came in and threw it at Young Guru like, this is what we got. And Young Guru did the best he could with it. Right? So, with that being said, right? I'm gonna talk about this album. I know I rambled on, but I didn't want to do this. I wanted to like this album. I really, really wanted to like this album. And I do like a couple, some great moments on here. But I think the mix down destroys it. And no matter how good the rapping is, when you got these hot mixes and then it's way too much. And I love skits and I love random movie vocals and random news reels and all. I love that. But after you get past that and you go back and rewind the album and you realize how little of rapping and how much of air and ghost space it is, you start to realize you almost got juxed with a lot of dead air, beats that's going on a minute and a half, 2 minutes with no rapping, with nothing, and you realize some of them beats only good because of the vocals. But I'm going to go into this album song for song. I'm going to give you my honest opinion, and I know some of y'all not going to agree with me. Some of y'all going to say this is a five mic classic. It ain't no 5 mic classic by no stretch, because a 5 mic classic got to have a good mix down. All right, let me go into this album. J Electronica, A Written Testimony. Most of the beats were produced by J Electronica. If I don't say the producer, that means he produced it. Track 1, The Overwhelming Event. It's an intro produced by J Electronica. Dramatic strings and soft bass and piano. Background instrumental with a Farrakhan speech. I love the vocals. I love the music, the tone it sets. Black Man is God talk or the God body talk. I love that. I love how it comes in and slaps you in the face. This is very J Electronic. This is exactly what I expected, and I do like the intro. This is a fantastic way to bring the album. If it's just based on the intro, this album is a hit. So we're starting off to a good start. Next song, Ghost of Soulja Slim. He kicks right back in. It's produced by J Electronica. Kicks right back in with some Farrakhan vocals. I ain't mad at it. You scared Negroes, sit down. Go get your master. Have him come out. Deal with this. Beautiful lingo. I love that. Jay starts rapping. He starts the whole song off. Verse is strong. He's getting at his enemies and all the shit talkers. Electronica chose a sample that sounds like elevator music. Very like MF Doomish. My man on Facebook said that he reminded him of MF Doom, and this track is very MF Doomish. It feels like some muddy 60s Italianic, like, you know, old school stuff, and it's dope. a bottom kick with a flat snare. They both got one verse each, kind of go back and forth at the end. This is a dope track, right? I think the mix should have been better, but I look past that. It's a dope track. I had to turn my thing all the way up to actually get into it. I had to listen to the song mad times to try to catch everything because it's not clear. But whatever. Second song, The Blinding, featuring not second song. Third track, second song, The Blinding, featuring Travis Scott. This one was produced by Swizz Beatz, A-Rap Music, Hit Boy, and G. Rye. It's mid-tempo, heavy, loud kick and snare with a buzzsaw synth. The second beat switches to a boom bap electronic type beat. Jay is spitting. In this one, when he's rhyming, it's more about his insecurities and he's critical of himself. And he's saying we're going to pick him apart. That's why he hesitated to put out anything. And that's why we just getting this now in 2020, because he was a little insecure about what we would say as a consumer. The Blinding is not it's an okay track. I don't have no problems with it. It's very Swizz Beatz, and you know, I don't know what these other dudes did on it. I'm sure they had something to do with the second beat, but I'm sure Swizz Beatz did the first one. Song's not bad. It's okay. I'm not mad at the song yet. I'm not mad at y'all yet. Track 4, The Never Ending Story, produced by The Alchemist. A lot of God talk, higher holy existence, lingo, masterful wordplay, end of the world talk, just, you know, very, very high times, like, you know, convo, spiritual level. Jay verse is more, you know, Jay-Z's verse is more introspective, but that's just as regal and royal. He's telling you, you know, just shine a light on him and what he feels he is and his ancestors and all that stuff like that. The beat is dope, guitar loop with a jazzy bass line, followed by harsh electronic guitar riff and some light, dope keys in the background. It's very good. That's 4 tracks. And you may ask yourself why I feel that this album is disappointing, because I like all 4 of those tracks. Let's be clear. I like those 4 tracks. I just don't like how the mix is hot on these tracks. Track 5, Shiny Suit Theory, featuring The Dream, produced by Jay Electronica. It's the 1 in a Million sample. Pete Rock used this years ago in the 90s. Jay Electronica looped it and he didn't put no beat. To me, it's repetitive and boring. I did not like it 2 years ago. His lyrics are dope, but they cannot save this track. I don't like it. I skipped this track. I've listened to it several times. I find zero redeeming quality. I don't like it. So therefore begins the downslide of the album for me. Shiny Suit Theory, masterful wordplay, terrible music. And it's so terrible you can barely mix it down right. So Young Guru's struggling with the mix down. Here we go. Track 6, Universal Soldier, featuring The Dream. More old time newsreel vocals begin the track. The only good thing about it to me, again, the lyrics. The beat is very slow tempo, a repetitive keyboard strike, flat kick and snare. The Dream does these almost female-like vocals, which is that's not what kills the song. And, you know, he's doing a lot of the Griselda, all of that, all that stuff in the background. I don't know if that's him or that he actually brought Griselda in to do it. I don't know. But that's like their signature sound right now. And I don't know if he was doing it first. I actually thought this was Kanye on the hook at first, but it's not Kanye. Apparently it's The Dream. 2 songs back to back that I feel like they're not strong. Right? They're not strong to me. So therefore, you got 2 in a row that to me are bringing this thing down, and they both produced by Jay Electronica. A lot of dead air to me. Then you get to Flux Capacitor. It's a quicker tempo, a beautiful bass line sample, which again to me is another bad mix. A lot of random clangs and bangs and sounds for no reason. I hate that hook. Get the gag. I don't like it. It's lazy to me. And when I went on YouTube, if you go to the YouTube video for this, the audio video, there is a lot of critique for this song. They are murdering this song. They are talking about You got the young kids coming in saying, don't tell me I don't have an ear for music. This is just trash. They're killing it. And rightfully so. So to me, that's 3 songs with bad mixes and a lot of noise for no reason. A lot of samples on top of samples on top of samples, which makes it muddy. I don't like them 3 in a row. They okay. They're not trash. Let's be clear. They're not trash. They're just awkwardly mixed, and some of the vocals are coming in hot, and I can't get with it. When this album is beautiful, it's beautiful. Like Fruit of the Spirit, produced by No ID. This is a professional producer who has years of knowledge about producing. He took a dope sample. We've heard the sample before, but the bass line carried it. He mixed it down properly. But Electronica only has 1 verse on here, and the song is like 1.5 minutes. Right? He explains himself again with a couple historical references. It's just too short. His lyrics are always on point. Let me just be clear. This guy's a masterclass MC, but this is a good song that's too short. It's 1.5 minutes. So that means you didn't want to do too much. I don't care what you say. You didn't want to do too much. You're uninspired. That's the only thing this could mean to me. That's the only thing this could mean to me. Is your uninspired person would have took this verse, put it on one of the other songs, and made 2 new verses to this. It would have been verses on top of verses. Uninspired, bro. Song is dope. You give me 1 verse and then you fade it. I'm like, come on, bro, this is crazy. And I don't want to be that guy, but I am being that guy. Next song, number 9, Ezekiel's Will featuring The Dream. The We Gon' See is on the hook. A lot of falsetto by The Dream. Both J's rap. It's a slower tempo with a winding sound, snare, and hi-hat. I feel like it's too long, and then somewhere in the Jay Electronica's rapping and he hits the like he could have wrote something there and he just didn't, and he never explained. Like most people when they go they'll tell you why they did that. I couldn't think of that nut right there. I just said he didn't even explain. He just did it and he kept going. And to me, and I'm like, come on, man, like this is lazy right here. And I'm like, this dude one of the best MCs in the world, but he's not feeling it. He's not feeling it. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna be on 100% real as I can get right here. Jay Electronica, for all the masterful wordplay, this dude is dope. His subject matter is extremely limited. It's very two-dimensional. Which by saying that, and I'm not picking them apart. This is you're gonna get God talk, almost all of that, and then if he tells you something about himself, it's gonna be about his insecurities. Then you're gonna go back to God talk, and that's really what you're getting when you get this album. This album should be better. Ezekiel's Will, if the mixdown was better, this would be a better song. A lot of people are forgiving the mixdown. They're forgiving it. They're like, oh, I loved it. This is dope. Because they're forgiving the mix. And a lot of people like muddy stuff already. I love muddy stuff as the next man, but I wanted to be able to hear it. I don't want to be able to have all my speakers all the way up trying to catch because it's so muddy. So now we get to track 10. The hands down best song on here. This song is beautiful. You hear me? If I go to heaven, I would expect this song to come on. That's how beautiful this song is. A-P-I-D-T. I don't even know what that means. A-P-I-D-T-A. I don't even know what that means. It's produced by Karan Big. I'm killing this man's name. I hope the guy I'm saying his name wrong. Karang Big or something to that effect. But this dude made a beautiful song. Melodic bass line. This is spirit-filling music. It's an ode to your dead homies, the people that are gone, the people that passed away. These dudes, you can feel their pain. The wordplay is masterful. It's clean. It's clear. You can hear what's happening with the music. This is masterclass of MCing and beat combination. Do you understand me? This is perfect. Perfect record to end this album with. Now, I just went over all 10 songs, and I told you nothing's whack. But the mixdown makes me angry. Physically angry when I hear these songs. I hear people calling this Watch the Throne 2. This ain't no Watch the Throne. Stop saying that. You disrespectful. Because Watch the Throne was way more diverse than this. Way stronger. They knew when to end songs. They didn't go too long on stuff. This way better than this. Way better than this. This is not no Watch the Throne 2. It ain't. It ain't supposed to be. It ain't even Ray and Ghost. This, once you peel back everything, the short amount, this thing is 39 minutes long. And if you peel all his verses together, I'm going to gamble. I'm going to say honestly, if you put all his verses together, you wouldn't even get 12 minutes of rap. You wouldn't even get 10 minutes of rapping. I hope somebody do the math. I hope I'm wrong. I doubt if you get over 10, you're not getting 15 minutes of him rapping. I'm going to put everything on that as a fact. He ain't got 15 minutes of rap on here. It ain't 15 minutes of him rapping on here. So all that being said, I'm trying to be cool right now, bro. 15 minutes. Listen, this is what I gotta say. When you got Hove, bro, and this is about to bother me, because I'm like, yo, you got Jay-Z filling in your fucking raps so you can put your shit out because you don't want to make music right now. Right? So this is my thing. People gonna blame Jay-Z for jumping on every song, but you clearly can tell this dude needed him on these songs because he didn't want to write. He doesn't want to write. He doesn't want to finish this. We ain't picking you apart. You picking yourself apart. Right? I'm trying not to say the shit I want to say, but this is the thing right here, man. A lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, this guy's top 5. Y'all just don't want to hear the truth. He's bringing the holy scripture to you, and all of that's great. But we MCs up in here, and we write, bro. We write. We write. Good, bad, and difference. We put that shit on the paper, bro. We love it when we actually get right. A dude could go 3-4 years without writing. I could do that. And then get inspired and write 50, like just write. But to go this long, right? Look at Nas' body work. Nas top 5 all time. And I hear dudes putting Jay Electronica in that conversation. There's not enough work. And to drop this, man, is disrespectful, bro. It's disrespectful. And you got Jay as you co-signing this shit. And this dude signed this guy 10 fucking years ago. This nigga would have been dropped. And I'm not, this is what I'm saying, bro. I love this guy as a person. That's what I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be very political correct with this review. I like this guy's spirit, right? My thing is, if you don't feel this shit, don't have Hov take up half the fucking CD and then throw this shit out all half mixed. Fuck out. Listen, man. I'm giving this album a D-. I don't like it. It's a lot of good songs on here. The mix is trash, right? And it's not enough rapping on here. Hov saves this shit. This dude is a fucking genius. I'm talking about Jay Electronica. He's a tortured genius, bro. He's a tortured genius. But with that being said, don't take his fucking hand and paint the shit for him. Jay-Z took his hand and painted the rest of the shit for him. This nigga had half a painting and didn't want to finish it. And Jay took his hand and finished the shit for him. That's my fucking opinion. Say whatever the fuck you want to say. Get mad or whatever. That's how I feel, bro. And this shit is disrespectful. First of all, you know how many niggas would get a right arm to be on the rock? You know how much work niggas would have put out already? How many niggas Jay could have put on that would have made music? kept him on because he liked this nigga as a fucking friend, which is cool. Right? But to the people that like this, that's fine. I have no problem with you liking it. It's some gems on here. This shit is actually good under the fucking belly of it. Under the belly of this shit is excellent music. But when you process that this guy barely writing on here, and you process that Jay is taking up all the slack, and if you take Jay off of here, you don't even have an album. And then if you process that we waited 10 years, and then you process that the mix is bad, and then you process that this is 39 minutes, and a lot of it is a bunch of skits and newsreels and dead air and a bunch of nonsense, there is no way you walk away saying this album is dope. There is no fucking way. D-, man. That's it. That's all, man. I'm catching on the flip side. I was supposed to do Royce da 5'9", and I will do that next. That album is a fucking classic. Peace.